challenge is to draw this sweater, turn it into a flat CAD, which means it needs to be symmetrical and needs to look like it's laying flat on a table. So I'm going to go ahead and screen capture this so I can just put it in Illustrator to have it as a reference point. I'm on a Mac. I'm going to screen capture it to my clipboard. So I'm going to hold Command Control Shift 4. And there we go. And I'm going to go to Illustrator. I'm going to open up a new file. Okay, letter, portraits, great. Okay. And I'm going to paste what was on my clipboard. I hit Command V. And I can make this a little smaller. I held Shift as I resized it. Later, you guys are going to make your own header. I'm not going to demonstrate that. I think you know how to do that already. But I thought I would just try to demonstrate drawing this so that we can get more practice controlling the pen tool and using some of the other tricks in Illustrator as well. So I'm going to decide how I'm going to draw this. I think right now I'm going to lock it, Command 2. I think my plan is I'm going to draw the front bodice myself, and then maybe I'll pull in a sleeve that's already drawn. So I actually looked at my libraries. I went to WGSN and I found a sleeve that I like. So it's in my downloads. I think maybe, yeah, it must be this one. I'm going to double click it. Should open in Illustrator. I'll just say no. Okay. So I know it's kind of tricky to copy WGSN files because they're just grouped a special way. So I think for this case, I might hit the letter A. And I'm going to click and drag and just move that just so I can look at it. Yeah, I do like that, but I also want to grab all of these other lines as well for draping. So I'm going to hit Command Z. I'm going to hit the letter V this time. Now I know when I hit V, it's going to select the whole thing. It's all grouped together. So I'm going to double click. Click, click. So now it temporarily ungrouped it. So I should be able to grab certain things. Okay. So there's different groups happening here. This is allowing me to, I'm going to hit Z and zoom. This is allowing me to grab the little draping lines, but it's not letting me grab the actual sleeve because that must be in a separate group. I'm going to hold spacebar to pan, and I'm going to zoom in a bit. I'm going to hold Shift. Oh, gosh. There we are. I'm going to hold Shift and grab that last one, and this one as well. Okay, Command negative to zoom out. Okay, well I have all my drape lines. Oops, one more. So I'm just going to say Command C to copy them. And I'm going to double click to get out. Click, click. So I'm out of this group. So I'm going to hit Command F. And it pasted everything I copied just right on top. I'm going to group it, Command G. So now it's like pretty easy for me to grab if I wanted. Now I just want to grab just this sleeve. So, and I see what I'm grabbing doesn't have an outline, but it doesn't matter because I can always give it an outline later. So I'm going to hit Command Z. Okay. I kind of like this bottom opening too. Let's see here. I wonder if I should select that as well. Spacebar. Okay, well, I'm going to hit A again, and I'm going to say Command Copy. And then I'm going to hit the letter V. I'm going to select that group that I just pasted, Command Z. And I'm going to double click it, click, click. And I'm going to hit Command B. So that pastes the sleeve that I wanted. Click, click. And it's all in the same group. So it'll be easy for me to grab. Now I'm deciding if I want to grab this cuff because I kind of like just the angle, the way it's drawn. And I just have to dissect, like, how is this thing drawn? So I'm going to double click, click. I don't need that stripe. I'm just going to delete it. Let's see. I'm going to fill this with a different color so I can see what is actually what I just selected. I don't really want that. And I don't want that. So I'm kind of taking all these stripes off because I don't really want them. I just want the actual cuff. Double click. Okay. Click that. This is the outline of my drawing. I'm just going to delete it. I don't need it. Okay. I'm going to try double clicking. And then clicking and dragging. I don't want you. Okay. Command X. So it didn't grab my little shade. I kind of like that shade, but that's okay. I'll come back and get it. So I'm going to say Command Copy, double click. I'm going to go grab that thing I was working on that's all grouped together. I'm going to double click it. Click, click. I'm going to hit Command F. Okay. Click, click. Now I'm going to go back I really want to get that little shaded thing because I think it's a nice detail. So I'm going to use the white arrow. I'm going to click right in the middle of it. Notice how all the anchor points are blue, even though I use the white arrow. If I had clicked on the line, you would see a lot of white anchor points. But if you click in the middle of something that has a fill, it will select all the lines. So there we go. So I'm holding shift. I got the other side. I'm going to say Command C to copy. I'm going to hit V to deselect and click the background. I'm going to go back to that thing that I've been kind of copying. Hit Edit, Undo. And I'm going to double click it. Click, click. And then I'm going to hit Command B to paste in the back. Okay. I'm going to double click. Okay, so I think I like what I basically stole from this arm. So I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to go to my other file. I'm going to hit Command V, and I kind of have a sleeve here. I'm going to select the sleeve, and I know it doesn't have an outline, so I'm just going to give it a black outline right now by clicking black. Okay, and it looks like she actually doesn't have a cuff. She just has top stitching. So what I can do is I want to connect these two things. So I'll start off with the Pathfinder. I think now that I'm in this file for right now, I'm going to ungroup it. Command Shift G should ungroup it. Okay, is it all in groups? Sometimes you have groups within a groups. I think I'm okay. I'm going to fill in this cuff. Right now it has no color. I'm just going to fill it in with something so I can see it. And I'm going to select that and the sleeve, and I'm going to use my Pathfinder tool. So I'm going to go to Window, Pathfinder. Now I know we've used Pathfinder a little bit, so hopefully this is becoming a little bit more familiar. I'm going to attempt to unite those two shapes since our sweater doesn't have that seam. We don't need that seam. So let's try to connect them. And it worked. Awesome. Cool. Now it did copy onto the top layer. We can always look at our layers. So it's pretty high up. It's covering all of my little shading details. So a quick way to get it to the bottom is maybe I will say Command X. And maybe what if I hit Command B? Is that too far? No, that works. Okay, cool. I'm going to pan. What I liked from the other drawing was that this wasn't black. It was actually like shaded. So we can make this transparent. Or we can just make it a light gray. Either way would work. I guess I'll do transparency. So I'm going to open up Window, Transparency. It's at 100. Maybe I'll just kind of bring it down to 40. Alrighty. Okay, well there's an arm. I might have to change it. I'm not sure. So now I have to draw the front part. It's so tricky because I don't really want to trace her because she's at a 3/4 view. But we'll see. I'll just get going and make adjustments where needed. In the meantime, I'm going to group the sleeve. So I selected it all. I'm going to hit Command G so that it's grouped. I'm going to kind of place it sort of on her. Okay, this guy's pretty short and it's a little skinny. So why don't I make it bigger to kind of match roughly, I guess, the scale of how to draw this other part. So let's see how this goes. So I know she's wearing this sweater. But if it was laying flat on a table, it would not have like her form inside of it. So I need to kind of keep that in mind. I think for now I'm going to lock the sleeve, Command 2, just so it's not in my way. I'm going to get my pen tool, and I'll draw an anchor point here. I'm going to draw the shoulder line. Now your shoulder line needs to be at an angle. Do not make it straight. It really should be at a slight slant. I'm going to go in for her neckline to center front. I'm going to click and drag and hold shift to bring out a scoop. I don't need this handlebar because I'm actually just going to draw half of it. So I'm going to click my anchor point and that handlebar went away. I'm going to hold shift and just go straight down. I don't mind really a curve here. I might come clean that up later, but I'll just put in the soft curve. I'm going to click here. I don't know that I want a waist. I'll click one for right now. Well, you know what's bugging me is I can't see my drawing anymore. So I'm going to change my fill to be none. I'm going to change my outline to be like a loud color that's easy to see. Okay, I'm going to click here. I might actually click like up here. And then I'm going to draw this armhole. Okay. We'll see how this goes. And then I'm obviously going to have to clean up my sleeve to kind of match. Let's take this. Okay, I'm going to say Object, Unlock All. I'm going to lock the picture, Command 2. I'm going to pick the sleeve and my bodice. I'm just scoot it over to the white background so it's easier for me to look at. Okay, I think I'm gonna hit the white arrow, so I hit the letter I. I don't need this anchor point. I'm gonna hit P negative. I'm gonna go back to letter A, and I'm gonna bring up this anchor point here. And I kind of want to come in the middle. I think that was like a little bit too aggressive of a scoop, so I think I like this one better. Okay, and you know what? I'm gonna, whoopsies, with the letter A, I'm gonna purposely have the green one cross over. Let me zoom in. Because I want to clean it up. I'm gonna hit Command P plus. I'm gonna add an anchor point. I'm gonna hit the letter A. I'm gonna bring it out. I know that's the green is ugly, but I think I like the red sleeve line better. So I'm gonna ungroup my sleeve real quick. Command Shift G, it's ungrouped. Now I can select just the green part, not all the draping things. I can hold Shift and also pick my front bodice. I think I'm gonna give my front bodice a fill color, just so it's easier to see. Okay, so I selected my sleeve, I'm holding Shift, I selected the bodice, and I'm gonna do the Pathfinder to divide it again. So now, oops, I grouped it together. I'm gonna ungroup it, Command Shift G. So now my sleeve has that nice shape, Command Z, but I have this weird shape right here, but I can hold Shift and unite it. Okay, so now I just have two very clean shapes. Okay, I'm gonna select both of them, and I'm going to say Command X, Command B, so it's on the bottom layer. We're getting somewhere. I like it. Maybe there's too much draping. Like, you know, I probably don't need this line. I might leave the one at the arm. I'm going to leave the one at the elbow. You know, I think the sleeve might be a little bit long, might be a little unrealistic. Maybe I'll get rid of this drape. Yeah, because it doesn't really pop out like how I have right here. So I may need to actually kind of clean that up. Let's zoom in. I'm going to delete that. I'm going to delete you, you, and then I'm going to get rid of this. Now this is unfortunate that there's so many anchor points. Luckily, I'm a professional. I can handle it. This is better. It's slightly long in my opinion. It does technically match the photograph, but there's something about it that's just kind of bugging me. I want to make it a little shorter. Maybe I don't need this point either. P negative, get rid of that guy. Okay, let's see here. I almost feel like there's too many drape lines. I'm gonna get rid of one of them. Okay, cool. I think I'm good. So now what I could do, I do realize if you zoom in, we have a double needle top stitch right here. So I'm hitting letter A, select this point. Oh, why are there so many anchor points? It's fine. I'll hold Shift and I'll select them all. And I'm going to hit Command C, Command F, V, and I can move that up a little bit. And I can change it to be a dashed line. That's much too big. I'm going to change it to like free with a 2 space, see what that looks like. I'm also going to change the weight to only 0.5. I suppose that's good. I'm going to hold Options to make a copy of it. Okay. I'm going to zoom in. It's a little bit long. I can just move it with the letter A, or I think I might actually hit the letter C to cut. I'm going to click that right there and then delete that. So I can hit C and just kind of cut this line. Sometimes when I move it, I end up kind of changing the shape a little bit. I don't know. Either way works. You can use the white arrow or just cut it. Okay. And hit Z. They're kind of far apart. That's bugging me. Zooming in, panning, V to move it. Wah. I think that's better. Okay. The bottom, I know, also has that double needle top stitch as well. So I'm going to hit the letter Z to zoom in and panning, letter A. Select it, just one anchor point there, Command C, Command F, and go up. And I'm going to hit the letter I and copy that other stitch. I can hit Command C, Command F, and go up again. And then I have to figure out what I'm going to do here. Do I want to just move it with a white arrow, or is it easier to hit the letter C and just cut it where I want, then hit A, delete, delete? delete, delete. Zooming out. Okay, we need to do something about her neckband as well. I think what's easiest is to select the front. So I'm going to use the white arrow. It's selected. There's no anchor points there, but the path is still selected. Command C, Command F. Okay, I don't need the fill color. I'm going to delete that. I'm going to change it so it's not pink. I'll pick a different color just so we can kind of see it. I'm going to make this guy a little thicker. Is that a good width, you guys think? I think that might be okay. Maybe it's a little bit wider. Maybe that's just fine. Let me try 5. I'll just do 5. Now I'm going to say Object, Path, and I'm going to outline the stroke. And then I'm going to, I guess I could give it a black outline, and it could have any color fill, right? Maybe it's green also. There we go. Now I also want to give it a top stitch on the inside. So I guess I can pick that anchor point, Command C, Command F, get rid of that fill color. I'll change the stroke so it's a little bit easier to follow. And make it, is 2 good? Is 3 too big? I'm going to do 3. I'll say Object, Path, Outline Stroke. I'm going to the letter I. I'm going to grab the stitch line. It gave us a little bit more stitches than we need, so I'm just going to delete the one that we don't need. Just usually by clicking in the corner is a nice way to get rid of it. Oh, there was an anchor point here. I'm just going to delete that anchor point. I don't need it. Okay, we're getting somewhere. So now really I just need my button placket. I still need to decide, is this too curvy? I don't know. P negative, what if I get rid of it? I'm going to hit the P plus. Oops, I have to get right on it. I'm going to zoom in since I'm having trouble. There we are. I can always pull from the pen tool this little anchor point tool to click and drag and get my handlebars out. I don't know, maybe it was just too curvy. That's a little bit better. It's more straight because I've seen these kinds of sweaters before. I feel like when you're shopping, they're pretty straight. There's just like a little waist there. I think that's better. For now, I think I'm going to change the sleeve. I'm going to copy this little lime green. Maybe I'm even ready to take the pink to also be a black line. Okay. Now for the button placket, I'm just going to copy the same thing. You know what? Actually, I think I'm going to put the button placket on top. So I'm ready then to grab this thing, and I'm going to hold Option. And then reflect it, Object, Transform, Reflect. Vertical is good. I'll say OK. And then I'll figure out where to align it. OK, that's good. Then I'll hit the letter A, grab one of these lines, Command C, Command F. Before I hit Command F, I did click the background once, so nothing was selected. Command F, so now it's on the very top layer. And I'm going to do that trick again where I'm going to make the stroke pretty wide. I don't need a fill color, so I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of my fill. Let's see here. I think I actually want to make this a little taller. Okay, that's probably wide enough. So now I'm ready to say Object, Path, Outline my stroke. And then why don't I hit the letter I and copy my yellow trim. Okay. Now I need to figure out where the stitching is on that. It looks like it might be folded and there's only stitching on one side. So I'll just hit the letter A, select this left line, Command C, Command F, scoot it over a hair, hit the letter I, and copy my stitches. Cool, so now I just need to add some buttons. Okay, I'm gonna hit Command Z. Looks like we got ourselves a 4-hole button here. Hit the letter L. Now this is nice too. You probably already have some buttons drawn, so you could probably just go grab those if you wanted. So drawing them from scratch, I'm not sure what would be quicker. And hit the letter L for the ellipse tool. I'm gonna hold this down. I'm gonna change this to like 0.25. I drew one of the 4 buttonholes. I'm gonna hold Option to pull it out. I'm gonna select both of them. I'm gonna make sure they're aligned. Like that. And then I'm going to group them, Command G. Then we say Command C, Command F, and then I'm going to rotate what I just copied. I'm holding Shift, so it's like a perfect, I don't know, 90 degrees. I'm gonna hold the other two and I'm gonna hit Command G so they're all grouped together. I'm also now going to hold Shift to click the circle and I'm gonna align that group. There we are. Now I'm gonna hit Command G so the whole button is grouped. I'm gonna hit the letter A and I'm gonna change the color of the button so it's not clear. Sure, green for now. Okay, I don't really care about the holes too much. I mean, it depends on how much detail. Do you want to put thread in there? That might be too much. You can if you want. I'm gonna hit letter P. This might be overboard. But there's your thread in case you want it. Hit the letter V. I'm gonna hold Shift, and then I'm just gonna all group it together. Okay, so we have one. Oh, I'm gonna zoom in more. I'm gonna hold Option. So now there's two. I'm going to select both of them, hold Option, gives us 4. It's panning. Now we have 6. I'm holding Shift so they stay aligned. I'll grab this last one. Okay, so it looks like we have 7. Click all 7, and I'm going to bring them over to my CAD. It's like the first one kind of starts right there. Okay, I want to make sure they're aligned. There we are. And then the spacing in between them is equal as well. Okie dokie. Okay, cool. So you guys need to do a front and a back. This could be your front. I think I'm just going to add the back right now so you can kind of see it. So I'm going to letter A. I'm going to grab this body. I'm going to hold Shift and get the other side. I'm going to say Command C. And then I'm going to deselect. I'm going to select my drawing and lock it. Command 2. Now I'm going to say Command B, so it pastes that in the back on the back layer. And then I want to zoom in. Maybe I don't need to look at the front for right now, so I can make it go away on the layers. Is that easy to do or not? Let's figure that out. Might be a little bit more work. Let me see here. Okay, yeah. Trying to get the eyeball away. There's that one. And this one. So, I mean, I guess it doesn't matter since it's locked. It's fine. Okay. So, I want them to intersect. So I'm just going to scoot it over a little bit so that I know that both are intersecting, and then I can unite them. And then now I can hit the letter A, find that anchor point, and bring up the back neck. I'm guessing the back only dips a little bit. Usually my backs, I like it to be kind of some kind of like a lighter gray color to kind of show like a shadow, like, oh, that's the back. I still need my tape, just like the front. So white arrow, pick this anchor point, Command C, Command F. I don't need the fill. I can change this just to be another color. I wish I remembered how wide I made my stroke. I think I did 5. Maybe I did 6. I'm going to go with 5. Object, path, outline, stroke. I'm going to hit the letter I to copy the yellow one. There we go. I'm going to hit the letter Z. Pan. Okay. It's a little messy here, so I'm going to hit the white arrow and just kind of, let's see if I can move you in there. That's better. Let's see if I can do that to the other side. I don't want to pull a handlebar, I just want to move the anchor point. Cool. Okay, so I just need my stitch line, grab that, Command C, Command F. Ooh, let me try that again and delete that. Let me get it there. Are there 2 of them? Okay. This one looks like there's 2. Oh, there are. Ooh, that's kind of annoying. Okay, well, that's fine. I'll click one, I'll hold Shift, and I'll click the other one. Command C, Command F. I think last time I did 3 for the stitches. Object, path, outline my stroke, hit the letter I, grab that stitch, and just delete what I don't need. Okay, there you have it. There's my demonstration. You don't have to follow what I did exactly. The thing with Illustrator, there's always more than one way to do the exact same thing. And I'm looking forward to seeing how your CADs turn out. I'm not expecting them to look exactly like this. We're all going to have a different spin. You guys will probably come up with a better job than this. So I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys turn in.